it's Sherry with Hecate's Needle. Welcome to my craft room. I want to start off today by saying thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Everyone is welcome. Today is Thursday, May 21st. 21st? I believe it's the 21st. It could be the 21st. Yes, it's the 21st. My days are running together. I got nothing. It's nonstop appointments and they're just all blended together now. Not to mention my allergies are still bothering me. But, you know, that's okay. Little bit of a scratchy throat, but you know what? We've got our ginger ale. We're good. Anyway, we are joined here today by no one. I am in here alone with the door shut because I have put myself in timeout. Mama just tired. Mama's tired. Mama looks tired. Mama feels tired. Mama's just tired. But anyway, so today we have some cross stitch. We do have sewing. I have been sewing, and we have a little bit of life update. So let's go. Cross stitch. Cross stitch. I have been doing Monogamous May. I have finished a project. I have fully finished 2 projects, and I'm close to finishing another. So first we'll start off with a fully finished object. Now the fully finished, one of the fully finished objects. Last year I completed Vampirum by Noctiflora Designs. Well, we picked it up from the framer this past weekend, and I'm gonna insert a picture because it's big, it's heavy, and my husband already hung it on the wall and I'm not taking it down. So here it is. We got it framed at Michael's. They did an amazing job. It looks perfect. It's absolutely amazing. I love the red mat around it. It has kind of a, it's a metallic silver frame, but it's kind of weathered looking, so it goes perfect with the stitch and the fabric and everything. So very, very pleased with that. We don't often get my pieces professionally framed, but my husband insisted on doing that one. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Now the next one, the first project I was working on for Monogamous May was my bee mandala, and this was a pattern by Doreen Jones. I got it out of the World of Cross Stitching magazine. I believe it was like May 2021 or something like that edition, but it is also available on her Etsy shop. Now, I finished it, and I fully finished it, and here it is. Looks amazing. I love it. Now, this was stitched on a 14 count Aida. It is by Witch's Garden Crafts. It is the color Frosty, which I had gotten in a Fabric of the Month club that when I was still in it. But here it is. Now, I just used a plastic hoop. The back of it is yellow felt, and then I have a yellow ribbon with little bees to hang it up. But yeah, that one is finished. I love it, and it is marked off my list. So those are my 2 finishes. Now, once I finish the bee mandala, the next one I was going to try and finish, which I am still working on, is being housed in my blue flower bag. and it is a nil-heel kit, and it is flamingos. The picture is all wrinkly and crinkly because cats. There it is. Now this one I am stitching with the full intent of hanging it in my daughter's bathroom when it's finished. But when you last saw it, it looked like that. Since then, I have put in 2,909 stitches, and that puts it at 91% complete. And here it is. I have completely finished the background here, the sky. I am working on filling in the water and the flamingos themselves. But I don't see any reason why this can't be finished next week. And this will probably be my last finish for Monogamous May, because we only got a week left. I wasn't able to stitch as much this past couple weeks as I would have liked to, because it's just been appointment after appointment after appointment. But I did get quite a bit done, so. And I did finish one. I'll take one. Any finish is a good finish. What is this on my chair? I don't know. But it's poking. So there's that one. Put that down there. Those are the only two I have worked on. The bee mandala and the flamingos. Like I said, it is Monogamous May for me. I do it every year. But I finished one, so that's good. Plans. My plans are to get the flamingos finished. We have the newest piece of the Poison Garden stitch along from Tiny Modernist. We've received it. I've not stitched on it. I will probably stitch that piece once I finish the flamingos, because I would really like to get those finished. As far as other plans, now I have kitted up a project. I don't know when I will start it, but it is Witchcraft by the Primitive Hare. I love it. I love it. And it's not like it's hard to kit it up. It's black and white thread. I got Rustico fabric to use with it. And so that is now kitted up and ready to start whenever I decide I want to start it. And then, of course, once I finish the flamingos, since that is my smaller kit, my husband will get to pick another small kit. I'm not going to pick a project to replace the bee mandala. That's a bigger project. I'm not replacing those, because I'm trying to get fewer big projects, more smaller projects. And I am shopping my stash for the most part. Now, that being said, I did have some acquisitions. First off, Witch's Garden Crafts is going to be doing a stitch along, and it starts June 19th. And it is Goddess of the Crossroads, which those who know mythology know the Goddess of the Crossroads is Hecate. That was her name. That is how it was pronounced back in the day. Some of the current iterations are Hecate. Thus the reason I have to stitch it. This is Hecate's needle. We all know little Miss Hecate. how can I not stitch the project that is based on who she was named for? Because she's our little goddess. She tells us every day. But anyway, it is the Goddess of the Crossroads stitch along. It will be going through August, so it's a summer stitch along. Not too bad, hopefully. But it is all about, it's all based on the Goddess of the Crossroads, Hecate. So of course I had to do it. Now I've not finished kitting it up, but I did get the fabric, and the fabric is by Witch's Garden Crafts, and it is in the color Batavia, which, as it turns out, is the same one I used to stitch Vampiramon. So it is this gorgeous purple, and you know what? I'll take it out of the plastic. Cover your ears, because there will be crinkles. Okay. There it is. It is a lovely purple. It's coming out more bluish, but I don't know. Cameras are just a pain, but there you go. It's a lovely purple. I love it. And it is a fabric she dyed for, that she suggested for this one, and I was like, well, you know what, we'll go with the suggested. That's fine. I can order it the same time I order the pattern and just be done with it and not have to worry about it. So now all I have to do is pull all the threads and get those on floss drops so that I can get this kitted up and get it started. So I guess technically this one will take the place of the bee mandala, but as I said, it just goes through August, so it's just a summer stitch. So it's another one that will be finished this year. And that's kind of my goal this year, is the only ones I want to start are ones that I can kind of finish this year. So there are those. And I have decided on the projects that I'm going to stitch for my husband and daughter for Christmas. Now, my daughter, I've got two. I've got the two that I got from Forbidden Fiber, the Winnie the Pooh and the Toy Story. So I'll probably do both of those, because both of those look like they will go fairly quickly. That they will be fairly easy, and I already have everything for them. I already have the fabric, the pattern, and the cloth. The fabric, the floss, the pattern. Words and syllables. So I already have those. They're already kitted up for me, so it'll be easy to just grab one, stitch it up, boom. Find a frame, grab another one, stitch it up, boom, frame, done. My husband's is one that I got out of Just Cross Stitch magazine. Now, I don't know if I've mentioned before, but my husband is a Marine veteran. And, you know, very patriotic, and which, so am I. So I found this one in Just Cross Stitch magazine. I'm going to do that one for him for Christmas. So I will soon be kitting that up and starting it so that I can get it done in time for Christmas. Those are the ones that are upcoming. And then, of course, as I said, once I finish the flamingos, he'll be picking out of my cup. I actually have 2 cups, but this is only small kits. So he'll be picking another one of those, because I am trying to use up all the kits that I already own. So those are my plans. Okay, as far as other things that I have acquired, because I have done a little bit of shopping. Now, I did get this on Amazon for a really good price. And it is an entire box of the DMC Light Effects. It's the glow in the dark. The E940. Because I have some projects coming up that I want to do with that, and I wanted to make sure I had enough. And this comes with 6. So I got that. It wasn't expensive, so I went ahead and got, just threw it in my Amazon cart when I was ordering something for my husband. He has his own Amazon, but for some reason it's easier if I do it. I don't know why. And then now when I ordered the Witch's Garden Crafts, the stitch along and the fabric to go with it, whenever she sends you fabric, she always sends you a little scrap, which I keep these for ornaments. These are good for little smalls, for little ornaments, and that's what this one is going to be for. I'm thinking with this shade of blue, maybe a pretty Christmas ornament, but she threw that in there. Now, the other thing I got, I went on Black Dahlia Fabrics. I love her I love their fabrics. Cryptic Cloths. I got one called Oz. It is a 14 count Aida, but it is in pretty greens and pinks. I really like that one. And I'm thinking this one I may use for a monochromatic that I want to do in black. But I haven't decided which one yet, so I don't know. But I love the colors, and I think just a black stitch on it, that would be so nice. So I got that. And then while I was on there, I found this. I could not resist. It's a little scissor fob. Look at the little cherries. They're so cute. And at the end, there's a little butterfly. I just thought it was so cute. It's so bright, and I love cherries. So I got that as well. And then they threw in a little baggie with 2 lollipops. One for my daughter, one for my husband, I'm sure, because as soon as they sniff them out, they'll take them. And then some little stickers, which are adorable. Got that one, which is too cute. And then this one. Just me and my anxiety, the world. I don't, but whatever. It's cute. So I got those. And like we don't all have anxiety. Oh, do we have anxiety? So those were my acquisitions. I did get those. I actually did some shopping. Now, I thought I would show how I keep organized. I've shown previously how I keep my sewing projects organized with my little plastic file folders that I just put the fabric, the pattern, and all of the notions in. Well, how I keep all my stitching organized, I guess, I have multiple ways. I am extreme ADHD. I was ADHD before they knew what ADHD was. I am from Gen X, back in the days before Ritalin, when mama just beat you till you sat still, except that didn't work on me, which is how I learned to stitch my one of my grandmothers took pity on me, and she taught me how to embroider, thinking if I could keep my hands still or keep my hands busy, it could keep my butt in my chair. And it worked, and I still do it. But I learned a long time ago to minimize my ADHD induced anxiety by being hyper organized. Perfect case in point, my fabric shelves. What you can't tell from this distance, they're all organized. That shelf is all cartoon character quilting cotton. That shelf, holiday quilting cotton, and it's broken down by holidays. As you can see from the amount of black and orange, it's mostly Halloween. The next two shelves underneath that shelf are all quilting cotton. And then the shelf underneath that is, I won't say scraps. They're too big to be scraps, but too small to actually make things. So I use those for project bags and things like that. Next to it, top shelf, flannel. Next shelf, t-shirt knit. Next shelf, fancy fabrics. So I am hyper organized. I am the same way about my cross stitching. Now, someone asked me a while ago how I keep up and keep track of progress with my stitching, particularly my paper patterns. Now, when I first started this channel, I did not use Pattern Keeper or any of the programs. Since then, I do have Pattern Keeper and I do have Cross Stitch Saga. I have them both and I use them, but I also use paper patterns as well because that's how I learned. So how do I keep up with my progress for my paper patterns? Now, the thing is, nowadays, a lot of the patterns, they tell you how many stitches they have. And if they don't tell you how many stitches are in the exact pattern, they frequently tell you how many stitches of each color there are, which you can then add up and say, okay, that's how many stitches are in the pattern. So I put that into the program I use on my tablet. And then as I stitch, of course, you're highlighting what you stitch on your paper pattern. I just count as I go, and then I enter that into my program too. And the program I use is Stitch Pal. I love this program. I love this app. Perfect case in point. Okay, my flamingos that I'm working on now. It has a spot where you can put in the picture of the project and of course the title. You can put in show details. You can put in the fabric, you can put in how many colors there are, you can put in any kind of notes you want, the date you start it, the date you finish it, all of that. And then as you go along each day, okay, well, perfect case in point, this morning before I woke up my daughter, I put in 168 stitches. So I just add that in and it immediately calculates what percentage you've done. That's how I keep track of that. And then of course on Pattern Keeper, I just transfer that over to Stitch Pal. So all of my whips are right here. All of my projects are in here. But that's how I keep track of my progress. Now, I keep them all in there, but being old, I also like keeping a paper copy, I guess. And that's where my husband, for Christmas last year, got me a planner. And it's a kitty. But he got me this. And so I keep track of my crafting. See? Now, anywhere you see a jellyfish, that's a crochet day. So, and anytime you see a fancy sticker, that's a finish. But these are all the days that I stitched in January. So I keep track of it that way. But then on the actual day page, I write down what project I wrote on and how many stitches I put in. And for like crochet days, for when I have a finish, I put another little sticker. And for crochet days, I just write down what project I was working on. But February. Now, you'll see a trend. I don't often stitch on the weekends, and that's because my husband and I are usually doing things. Well, my husband, daughter, and I are usually doing things on the weekend. So I just don't. But so far for May, it's just sad. I haven't been able to do much. That's all I've been able to do for May. It's just been appointment after appointment after appointment. So I haven't been able to do a whole lot. But that's how I keep track of it. When I want to choose a new project, like I said, these are all small projects. I have my husband choose one. These are all projects, except the small ones that I pulled out of here and put in that cup. And so once I'm ready to choose a bigger project, he'll choose one out of there. And the way I normally choose what projects to work on, now obviously this month it's been Monogamous May, and I already knew which projects I was going to work on. But normally I use my Spin the Wheel app. That's sewing. Where's my cross stitch? There it is. So I use that. That keeps me organized. It also, being ADHD, I want to do all of the things all of the time immediately, and you can't. Not with slow crafting like cross stitch or sewing or whatever. So doing the spin the wheel prevents me from just standing in my craft room. Well, I want to stitch on this one, but I also have this one, but then there's this one and this one, and this way I just spin the wheel, go grab the project, done. Because I like all of the projects, so I'll stitch them. I just need to decide which one. And that's where the spin the wheel comes in. And all of the patterns and kits that I have, I love all of them. I wouldn't have them if I didn't. And that's where the cup comes in. And I don't even choose the ones from the cup. My husband does. So I just say, here, baby. He picks one. That's the one I'm going to start. Cool. Unless there's a reason I can't. So that's how I do it. That's how I organize everything and keep from being overwhelmed. Let's put it that way. Now I am still whipping down. Like I said, I finished my bee mandala. I'm not replacing it with another project. The flamingos, yes, I will replace with another small kit that I can finish quickly. But that's because I want to get those out of my stash. But that's how I do it. And I think, and obviously I keep my little day book, my little planner, in the bag I made. I'm actually using them. So, going forward, I'm going to finish the flamingos, then I'll do the next piece of the poison garden, and then I'll go back to spinning the wheel. Those are our plans, and I'll be starting Christmas stitching soon. So, that's it for cross stitch. I have been sewing. I made myself a pair of shorts with a matching top. They are currently in the laundry. I have very sensitive skin, so I wash the fabric before I sew it, but then I immediately wash the garment after I make it. So I want to make sure there's nothing in there to irritate my skin. I have also been cutting out more garments. I have gone through, as I said, they're not scraps per se, they're just pieces that are too small to make anything substantial. But I have picked out some for project bags. One of them is this Mickey fabric, which is actually a scrap left from a shirt that I made my daughter. Yes, she picked it out. But I have the scrap, so I'll use it. The next one I have are little elephants, which I thought was cute. And this one is also left over from when I made her a shirt, a summer top. The next one I have is all of these bright and colorful fishies, which this was just a remnant that I got, but I really like it. So it's bright, it's colorful, it's cheerful. It makes me happy. And then this one was another remnant that I got, and it's all of these colorful little mushrooms, which I love the colors. And the fabric is really cute, so I thought I would make myself a project bag out of that as well. So that's 4 new project bags coming up. I also have started sorting out the fabric for the Pooh quilt that I want to make my daughter for Christmas. So once I finish sorting that out and figuring out which piece goes to what, then I will start cutting it and sewing it up. I also have my little bag down here that I want to make. I will start that. As I said, I've had doctor's appointments, dentist appointments. I've had 2 trips to the vet for appointments. We've had the seasonal quarterly exterminator visit. We had the exterminator come out and put up termite traps. We don't have termites, luckily, but we live in an area that is very high in termites, so we wanted to make sure that our house was protected. So I had an appointment for that. Yeah. It's just everything was in May, so I'm really looking forward to June when I don't have appointments. Knock on wood. So I haven't been able to do as much as I wanted to, but I did get some things done, so that's nice. I did cut out a t-shirt for my daughter. Little ghosties, and she picked the fabric. So she will soon be getting a little ghosty t-shirt. That's on my sewing desk next to my sewing machine, getting ready to be stitched. So that will be my next sewing project. But I've not been shopping for sewing. I have fabric, y'all. I have fabric. I have fabric for months, years maybe. I don't need to be shopping for fabric. And I've got patterns. Now, I did have some of my PDF patterns printed. I get them printed on the big paper so that I don't have to sit there and piece together all of the pages for a sewing pattern. I have them professionally printed on paper. So I need to trace those off, because what I do is I have them printed on the big paper, and then I sit down and I trace out the pieces for my size, and then I trace out the pieces for my daughter's size. So that way I can use all of my patterns for both of us. So, but anyway, that's what I've been doing for sewing. And I think that's it for sewing. Yeah, that's it. So, moving on. Life. Life has been chaotic. Okay. Puppy energy chaotic. Luna has settled in beautifully. She is no longer a scared puppy. She has full run of the house, and trust me, she takes advantage of it. She has discovered Hecate's secret. During the day, and I mean, unless Mama is in here sewing, during the day, Hecate will come in here for peace and quiet, into the sewing room. Unless I'm in here, this is the quietest room of the house. And Hecate will come in here and lay in my sewing chair. Well, I also have the cat tower with the little palm tree and a little cave, which the boys like, and Hecate gets on there too. Snickers gets in the cave. Occasionally Jellybean does, but Jellybean usually likes to lay on the top shelf and look out the window, as does Hecate. I also have a cat bed in here. The puppy lays in the cat bed, which is fine. She fits for now, although she kind of oozing out all the sides, so she ain't gonna fit for long. So I'm probably gonna get a blanket and just put in here like I used to do for Artemis. Once she outgrows the cat bed. But she's discovered that this is a nice quiet room, so when she wants just peace and quiet, she'll come in here and lay in the cat bed, and she and Hecate will actually coexist peacefully for a time. Don't let it go to your head, though, because it doesn't last. But she has also learned to bark, and she barks at everything. If a neighbor has the absolute audacity to stand in his own yard and mind his own business, well, no, we have to bark at that. If somebody has the audacity to walk down the street in front of our home, oh no, we got to bark at that too. God forbid it's a bicycle. Somebody on a bicycle, oh hell no, we have to bark at that, because they just shady as hell. If she wants out, she'll come bark at me. If she wants in, she'll bark. If she wants me to just leave the door open for her so she can come in and out, she will bark at me. She has learned to bark. She is no longer the timid, scared puppy. We have discovered, though, that she gets car sick. That's awesome. But we went to the thrift store over the weekend and we bought an old comforter. I mean, old, it looks brand new, honestly. It doesn't even look like it's ever been used, for a twin size bed. We bought that and we're going to put it in my car. And I am going to start taking short trips with her to do happy things, to try and get her over her being car sick. Because I think what it is she's scared of the car, and so she makes herself upset and she throws up. So, we'll start like on Fridays after I finish doing the house cleaning and changing all the sheets on the beds and everything. I usually go and get a Starbucks. That is my reward for adulting for the day. I'm going to take her with me. I'll spread the comforter in the car and put her on that, so that if she does get sick, it's not all over my car. And I'll take her for a pup cup. Little happy things like that. and we'll see if we can't get her over her fear of the car. She did fine on her first trip to the vet. They gave her squeezy cheese, and that's just awesome. What's more awesome is when she threw it up all over the back seat of my car, and I got to clean it. That was fun. But anyway, so we're going to be working on that. We've already started leash training her. We're taking her for a good long walk every evening before dinner. 2 reasons. We're multitasking. 1, leash training. 2, we got to wear her the hell out because that's a whole lot of energy. She is wild. But we've started doing that, so we're working on it. But she's settled in, and she's a loving little thing, so that's fine. We've got her to stop chasing. We need to get her to stop chasing the cats. She's got some battle wounds because she wants to violate Hecate, and Hecate ain't about that, okay? All of us are filthy, and we don't need to be touching her, and oh my god, the dog touched her, so whack across the nose with the murder mittens. And it doesn't stop her. She just turns around and does it again. So I don't know. I'm working on it. That's all I can say is I'm working on it. Eventually, Hecate is going to stop swatting her and get serious, and that's what I'm worried about. Jellybean loves her. Absolutely adores her. They're napping buddies. Which is good. It perked him up after losing Artemis, so it made him happy. He has a dog. He loves his dog. But anyway, so we're adjusting. She's adjusting. She's settling in. We went this past weekend and wandered around the Japanese garden. All the turtles were out sunning. That was kind of cool. There were turtles everywhere, and they have these huge koi in the ponds. But we went and we walked around there. That was nice. Get out of the house, get some sunshine. We forced our daughter to come with us because she never gets out and gets exercise. We've been forcing her to go walking with us in the evening too. You would think we're murdering her. But otherwise life has been fine. The garden is just amazing, and I know I said I was going to film a video on the garden, but I haven't had the opportunity with all of the appointments. It's either it's raining or there are appointments or someone's prowling around my yard like today with the termite people. So I will get that done. Our garden is amazing. This was today's bean harvest. This is just for today. The blueberries are ripening. We will probably start picking blueberries this weekend. I fully expect to. We did get some strawberries that I'm going to make strawberry jelly tomorrow. That will be good. But otherwise, things are fine. Flowers are blooming. It's heating up. It is heating up. It was hot today and yesterday. I worked outside yesterday and it was hot. But, it's almost summer, so that's to be expected. And I live down south, in the deep south, the heart of Dixie. But anyway, that's what's going on here. Still working on my Monogamous May. Hopefully by the next video, I will have the flamingos done and a full finish, and I will have moved on to something else, and we'll see what my husband picks out of the cup. But until then, I want to say again, thank you to everyone who has subscribed. If you saw anything you like, please feel free to subscribe, like, comment, share, all of those things. I do always reply to the comments. I love to chat with y'all. But until next time, I hope everyone has a wonderful fantastic weekend, and I will see you later.